Here is how to print and paint some awesome ship interior terrain. I was recently sent some files from LV427 to print and try out. They specialize in modular corridor terrain. To my knowledge, all their files are support-free and ready for printing on a filament, aka FDM, printer. All you have to do is drag their files into the slicer of your choice, and you're ready to print. A slicer is a software that will slice your models into thin layers that your 3D printer will then use to build your model. There are many different slicers out there. Some popular ones for FDM printing are Prusa Slicer and Cura. Be sure to check out LV427 after the video to see all of their designs. As always, when printing in FDM, try to clean your print bed with isopropyl alcohol. 99% is best. Also, I changed the settings in the slicer to print with a brim to avoid any warping, but whether you need this is all dependent on your printer. Here's what one roll of filament will give you. I'm a big fan of how I was able to print out 9 pieces of their long corridor terrain set and more. Not too shabby. It's modular and creates really interesting maps. I did a super quick paint job for this. First, I did a heavy zenithal spray from about 45 degrees with a gray spray paint. I like printing in black filament because anywhere you miss will just be black and look like shadows. Then I dry brushed the floor with metallic craft paint. I did all the object source lighting with my airbrush. I first sprayed any light fixture and monitor with a white ink, making sure to have a little ring of white hitting the area around the light source. This will provide a good base for the color. I took yellow ink and Huge Mini's Blue Lagoon airbrush paint and sprayed on the color. I just want to emphasize how important the white ink step is. Translucent layers of paint have a tough time being vibrant over dark base coats. So without it, the color may not be as vibrant as you want it to be. If you don't have an airbrush, there are some really great tutorials about creating OSL with just dry brushing. This would be a great project to try that on. Next, I dry brushed the air ducts with steel, and to break up all the gray, dry brushed anything that had a ton of detail with copper, like the little wires, buttons, and also the little vents. This wouldn't be a terrible place to stop, but I wanted to add a little bit more detail. First, I added some spot highlights to all the screens with white. Next, I stippled on some red and blue to the barrels that are on the airlock piece, as well as painted the oxygen sign with blue skies from Huge Minis. Lastly, I painted the hazard stripe details in the weapons bay and the terrain was done. This was a really fun set to work on. It makes for some really cool scenes and photos. It makes me want to kit bash some alien space bugs. If you're interested in the terrain, make sure to check out what LV427 has on their site. That's it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, feel free to like and subscribe and support me on Patreon. I greatly appreciate everyone who does. Alright, bye-bye.